talking about home decor mistakes and regrets that I've made and items that I would never, well not never, but I probably won't purchase for my home again. So this is just based off personal experience. If you like these things, if you have these things, that is totally fine. This is just what I would not get for my home. When you have your first apartment, when you have your first house, it's a lot of trial and error in terms of finding out what works for you aesthetically and what fits into your lifestyle. It will end up being a lot of switching pieces out, not liking something, getting something else, and that creates your own personal style and your own personal taste. So I've made a lot of mistakes. If you watch my home updates, you've seen me switching stuff out all the time. Buy something, don't like it, I sell it on Facebook Marketplace. I'm making this video to share my mistakes and hopefully you can learn from it. Okay, I'm gonna scooch over here because I'm gonna put the images in this area. We are starting off with rugs as a category. Rugs, I think, are one of the most difficult things to purchase for your home. They're super big. They interact with every piece of furniture in your space. You have to get the right color, the right texture, the right pattern, and it's difficult because they are so large, they're expensive, and typically you're viewing these rugs online. Out of all the things I think I've purchased for the home or apartment, rugs have been the most difficult thing for me. I have three kinds of rugs that I would not get again. The first one is a jute rug. So we had a jute rug at our old apartment in the living room, and I got it because I liked the color, I liked the price because jute rugs are typically cheaper than other materials. But jute is not a comfortable material. It's definitely for more high traffic, like entryway type areas, not in a comfortable lounge space. So jute is like scratchy under your feet. It is uncomfortable. We ended up later layering a wool rug that is a little bit smaller. I'm a person who likes to walk around the house barefoot, and the jute rug is not a good texture. So the next kind of rug is those like very skinny flat weave rugs that move around whenever you like step on it, or if your pet steps on it, like it'll just always get out of position. These rugs are cheaper because they're thinner, but I was always like so stressed out about these rugs because they'd always move, they'd always like flip over and I'd have to fix them. I like things in my house that are not high maintenance, and those skinny rugs felt very high maintenance to me. If you do want a flat weave rug in your home, you will definitely need some type of rug pad underneath. Don't get those cheap like rubbery ones. I did that and I regretted it because it did not work very well. You need to get one of those thicker, I think it's made of felt. Yeah, like a felt rug pad that will stay on the floor and also add a little bit of cushion to the rug too, because it feels nice when you're walking on a rug and there's a little bit of cushion there. The next final category of rug that I do not recommend at all is a rug with tassels on it. Specifically the long tassels. Those are so annoying to have in your house because they also always get messy. They get kicked up. You're gonna end up combing, like finger combing your rug tassels every other day like I did if you have a long tasseled rug. And it looked super messy whenever the tassels would be like flipped over or like scooted to the side. So whenever I would post pictures of our apartment on Instagram, I would always like finger comb the tassels to make sure they look nicer. Tassels are nice because they add a little bit of texture and detail to the rug, but don't get one that's like longer than maybe like 2 inches. Yeah, I think 2 inches and below is okay, but anything more than that is going to be very annoying for you. The rug that I'm on right now in the living room, it has a little bit of a tassel on it. It's about 2 inches long, and that doesn't bother me at all because it, for the most part, stays in its spot. So my recommendations for rugs, because they are so expensive and they're difficult to return, I would kind of keep things simple until you get a good grasp and idea of what your style is and what would look good in your space. I think if you don't have a strong idea of what you want in terms of a rug, like if you don't have a strong idea of the design you're looking for, it's never wrong to go simple. So I love wool rugs. All of the rugs in the house, they're all wool, and it's very comfortable and durable. So if you go simple with the rug, what's nice about it is that it can pretty much be used in any room. So say you get a cream rug in your living room, then maybe later you want something more interesting with more of a design, you can move that cream rug into your office or your bedroom or your guest bedroom, and it will pretty much, like 99% of the time, fit in almost any home decor. So some recommendations for you, there is this wool rug from Article that is called the Texa rug. That was the first wool rug that Chris and I got in our apartment, and it was such a game changer. It felt so much nicer than this thin flat weave cotton rug that we got. So I recommend that to pretty much anyone who asks me for rug recommendations, just because it will go with pretty much anything. Super soft. And then other than that, there's also Gabe rugs that you can search up on Etsy. Etsy has a ton of really nice rugs that are decently affordable. So my next home decor regret is not getting the correct material for my bedding. I share a bed with my partner Chris, and he sleeps hot and I sleep cooler. So I'm always cold, he's always warm. And we always had this problem in college where he would like kind of sweat in the bed. Sorry, Chris, for like exposing you like this. But when we moved out of our college house and into our first apartment, we switched to linen bedding, and that pretty much solved our issues. So we've been using Brooklinen bedding for 3 years, ever since we graduated college, and linen is just like the perfect material for us because he's comfortable, I'm comfortable, it's breathable, it's cooling, but it also keeps me warm. So yeah, if you're looking for the perfect kind of bedding for you, you can check out Brooklinen, who is the sponsor of this video. They have an assortment of fabrics like brushed flannel, which is super warm and cozy, and then they have cotton and sateen and linen, which is what we have in the bedroom. We have the hardcore washed linen set in cream. I like the cream a lot, but I've been wanting to add more pattern and detail into the bedroom, and they just released this pattern called chromatic window pane, which I think is so pretty because I like the pattern, and it also has an assortment of colors, so it's very colorful, but it's all muted, and I think that would look perfect for the bedroom. Brooklinen is offering a 15% discount on your first order. You just have to click the link below and use the code Benji15. So the next category is uncomfortable seating. I have fallen victim to it. I felt like I used to collect accent chairs, even though I didn't need them for anything. I've since Facebook Marketplace most of them, but yeah, I would get chairs that I liked the look of, but were very uncomfortable. I think this is fine if you're doing a few accent chairs or a few side chairs, but your main lounge seating, like a couch or a lounge chair, need to be pretty comfortable. So even this couch, I love it, it's beautiful, but it's not super comfortable to sleep in or to sit on for extended periods of time. So like I was watching a movie and it was about 2.5 hours, and by the last 30 minutes I was very uncomfortable. So I love this couch. It's comfortable for a few hours at a time, but anything more than that, it starts to like not support you too well in the lower back. But yeah, the couch isn't actually like that uncomfortable, so I don't regret the purchase very much. But there are some couches out there that I'm like, I know that's not comfortable, especially those low back couches. I feel like low back couches are very trendy right now, but a low back couch offers like no support for you. It doesn't, it really doesn't. It might look cool, but I would never recommend getting a low back couch. For example, there is the Mario Bellini sofa that's very popular. I don't know if it's still popular now, but it felt very trendy at the time, like in 2022. No one can tell me those are comfortable. I've sat in one before and it was not comfortable, and they just look uncomfortable as well. So you might see these kinds of couches on social media, but if these people online are telling you that it's comfortable, I just don't believe. So I don't want this to feel like I'm calling someone out or anything, but a while ago, I remember I watched a TikToker and he got a new couch and he was unveiling it, and he did this thing where he like fell back into it. And you know, when you do that, you're supposed to like fall into it. It's supposed to look very comfortable, but his couch was like a box. He just fell back on it and then he just like bounced a little bit. And I was like, wow, that couch actually looks so uncomfortable. So no hate at all to him. This was just like the best representation of what I'm talking about that I could find. And I mean, the couch is really pretty, but like I would not want to have that in my house because it's just not comfortable. I don't have a specific couch recommendation for y'all because I don't know, couch shopping is very difficult. But I do have an ideal couch that I would love to have, and it is this couch from Truck Furniture. They have this one really popular photo on Pinterest that maybe you have seen. I love this couch. It's very basic, it looks simple, but it also looks so comfortable. It has this fabric that is corduroy, and the color looks super nice, and it looks very soft, and it's just like a classic couch. And I was so into this couch at one point that I was watching YouTube videos about the couch in Japanese, so that way I could get an idea of how people sat in it, or like if you could lay in it, if it's comfortable, like how does it conform to the body? To ship it to the US, because it's a Japanese brand, it would cost like over $10,000. So that is not happening anytime soon, but that is like my dream couch. They also have other really cool couches and other really cool furniture. I also love the name and the branding. Unpopular opinion, but I actually think sectionals are fine. I think sectionals are okay, but a couch with an ottoman that you can move around is probably better. That way you have more room to configure the couch to the space. Sectionals are kind of demonized on social media, but they're so comfortable, like you can't deny it. Chris and I, we dog sat and cat sat at one of our friends' house once, and they had a sectional. It was so nice because we were able to both lay down at the same time. Like I would lay down on the sectional part and I'd be on my phone, and then Chris would lay down on the couch part and like have his head resting in my lap and be reading or something. I think like a sectional is ideal for couples. So the next regret that I have is getting a glass coffee table. I really like the way that glass looks in the living room because there's a lot of earth tones and a lot of wood and a lot of plants. So the glass balances out those elements and makes it feel less rustic. But I don't think glass coffee tables should really be a thing. Well, there's a couple of reasons. So one of them is that it always is dusty. Like you wipe it one day and then in a few days it's gonna be dusty again, and it also shows every single fingerprint, and it also gets scratches very, very easily. And normally I don't mind scratches that much, but there's something about scratches on glass. I think the way that it reflects light or something, it just looks so much more obvious than a scratch on wood. Also, this is just like maybe it's a me thing, maybe it's just how I feel, but I feel like glass coffee tables feel unsteady, and I feel always like very cautious whenever I'm around them because glass is like a scary material in a way that you have to be precious with because it can break. Having that as a high traffic piece of furniture like a coffee table where you're constantly setting things down on it, I don't think glass makes for a good material choice for a coffee table. Honestly, any other coffee table, in my opinion, is better, like wood or marble or I don't know, what else do people make coffee tables out of? But yeah, we switched out the glass coffee table for a wood one, and I love this one. I feel like I can really, I don't know, it can handle a lot more. This is a process that I've been learning, but there's something so nice about letting go of the idea of keeping your furniture in pristine condition. Well, I'm not saying to like destroy your furniture or mess it up on purpose or not take care of it. There's a stress relieved from me when I just stop caring so much about scratches or scuffs. Any inanimate object that's interacted with something that's living is going to show some signs of wear, like a scratch or a scuff. And you know, that's okay. That is totally okay. Like, why is it such a big deal if there's a little scratch on something? Also, you can always get it refinished or reupholstered or something. Like if there's something wrong with it, then you can fix it later and make it look perfect again. So it's not really such a big deal. Okay, next category of regret is curtains. Curtains. I've like received comments saying that I don't say the T's in curtains. I always think, oh, I need to say the T, but it feels so unnatural. Like curtain. Do you say curtain with the T or like curtain? I don't know, let me know because I feel like I'm crazy because I've been saying it like that all my life. But yes, okay, so my regret is not immediately just getting pleated curtains. I never did pleated curtains when I first started getting them because I always thought that getting them pleated was like more expensive or more difficult to install. I knew nothing about them, so that was just like my belief because they look like higher end, but really that's not the case at all. So yeah, I like pleated curtains because it adds a little bit of a design element and detailing, and it makes it look more interesting. It's also neater. The pleat also adds some verticality to the space because of the shadows of the pleat, so you can have like a vertical element that's still soft. But we got the pleated curtains in the living room from Etsy, actually. I found an Etsy shop that was local to the area and I got it done from them. You can get pleated curtains on Etsy, and I also have pleated curtains from Etsy in the dining room as well. You can also get pleated curtains from IKEA. You just have to get the pleat pins that come separately. So if you get pleat pins, you can just pleat almost any curtain that they have, I think. It depends on what kind of lining they have at the top. You get the pleat pins, you get a curtain track that you install in the ceiling. like your space will immediately look so much nicer. The next regret that I have, and this is mostly for the plant people out there that like to have a lot of plants, but still care about your space and designing your space. And I feel like that definitely resonates with my audience because I do like home decor stuff and also plant stuff. So something that I wish I considered sooner was getting pots that fit together. Pots that have a similar color or style or texture or material, I think is really important if you want to still have a lot of plants, but not make them look so crazy and messy and disorganized. When I see spaces on Pinterest or on Instagram that have a lot of plants, I always wonder, like, what are they doing to group their plants in a way that doesn't look super messy? Because sometimes when I do it, I'm like, this looks horrible and it looks insane. I've noticed a common theme. So either they have similar pots, say all terracotta. I think there was one that was like all copper or all brass that looked really cool. Instead of having similar pots, you could have similar plants. So like all desert themed plants. So think of, for example, in a garden, when you're gardening, you typically don't want to mix tropical plants with a desert plant in a garden. It just doesn't look right aesthetically. I was preparing plants for a photo shoot and they were all in Hisami porcelain planters, and I used all like succulent cactus type plants and I potted them in a very similar way, and they look great as a unit, as like a grouping. And it made for really nice photos as well. I would have wished that I considered getting pots that are similar to each other. Like they don't have to be all the exact same pots, but just pots that maybe they like speak the same language as each other in terms of the color palette or the shape. Oh, also side note, I've really been liking like British looking grandma style plants. What is it called? Citronella. That's a geranium. I like citronella. Lately, I've been into plants that look like they could be at your grandma's house. Today is my birthday. So later today, we're gonna get sushi with my friends and we're going to eat a cake from Porto's, which is this really nice bakery here. I'm wearing a shirt that Chris got me for my birthday. There's the actor from Challengers. His name is Josh O'Connor, and he was wearing this shirt in a picture, and I was like, oh, that's a really cute shirt. And Chris got it for me. So yeah, I love this shirt. It's my birthday shirt. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Oh my gosh, you can see my sweatpants. I'm wearing sweatpants because y'all couldn't see it while I'm filming. Okay, bye.